Per 36 minutes this year, Naz Reid is the third highest scorer off the bench across the NBA, averaging just under 22 points, while having an effective field goal percentage of 64%. And as a scorer, Naz can generate points in a variety of ways. Now offensively, Naz is primarily used as a typical stretch 4, commonly used as a pick and pop or spot up man. But for his size, Reid is extremely mobile, both having a quick first step and good speed in the open court. And on top of that size and mobility, Naz also has a really sticky handle, being comfortable attacking off the dribble in the half court as well as in transition. This play here is tough, where Reid collects and pushes the ball on the break, and in stride, watch how he curls the rock across his frame, which gets this defender to open up his stance and gives Reid a top foot to attack. And this move may seem pretty simple to the common viewer, but being able to hit an in and out like this without losing speed is a really hard thing to do, especially for taller ball handlers. Now these are skills that Naz has pretty much always had, but so far this year, I've seen one key improvement to Reid's game, and that's going to be his outside scoring. In Reid's first 4 NBA seasons, he shot just over 34% from 3, which is nothing to write home about. But so far this year, that number has jumped to over 44%. Now Naz isn't a super dynamic outside scorer. He's not going to aggressively run off screens or create any kind of pull-up jumper off the dribble. Most of his looks are typical standstill spot-up threes, and while Naz doesn't get a crazy amount of lift into his shot, he does have a pretty quick trigger off the catch.
Tyler Hero shooting a 3, Rudy did that time, and Naz Reid knocks down the triple.
Now Naz establishing himself as a real outside scoring threat completely opens up the rest of his game, because that shooting threat then draws heavy closeouts, which then unlocks all of Naz's bag work. Now like we went over, Reid has a really good first step, but he also has a great feel of reading and attacking angles off the catch. Right here, watch him catch the swing pass, then in motion flow right into a jab step and create a clear driving angle. And even if Naz can't create an immediate advantage off the catch, he still has the physicality and ball skills to create offense in isolation. Like on this play, notice how this pass is way off the mark, which takes away Reid's ability to attack this closeout. But from here, watch how Naz rips past the defense's top foot, to then spin back to his left with a finish. Naz has also had a ton of success this year playing in the post, and because he mostly plays the 4 alongside Gobert or Towns, Reid can turn into a real matchup problem against smaller lineups. And down low, Naz does have a pretty polished post game, having solid body control and footwork, while being able to turn into hook shots going both right and left. Right here, watch how Naz attacks the defense's right side by lowering his shoulder and driving off his left foot. Then notice how Reid rotates his shoulders to create a small window to get this baby hook up. When playing down low, I also think a really underrated part of Reid's game is going to be his touch. Naz loves turning into these hook shots that are extended out pretty far away from the basket, and they always tend to land softly at the rim. Right here, watch Naz turn over his right shoulder and sink in this hook shot without even using the glass. Now as an overall player, Naz also brings a ton of value to Minnesota on the defensive end. And right now, the Timberwolves do have the top ranked defense across the NBA. And when Reid's on the floor, Minnesota doesn't lose a whole lot of their defensive punch. And similar to his offense, Naz is a pretty versatile defender, having the size and length to offer up good resistance at the rim, the mobility to scramble out and contest shots, while also having the foot speed to contain some pretty high level scores off the bounce. Right here, watch how Jason Tatum is able to lift Naz out of his stance with his hezi, but from here, notice how Naz rotates his hips and is able to scramble and get himself back in front of the ball. And while I wouldn't say Naz is a top tier perimeter defender, he still has plenty of tools to switch out and offer up resistance with his length and mobility. Now defensively, Minnesota loves to have their centers typically matched up with a non-big, which then puts Naz as the primary defender in pick and roll, and this is where I think Reid does his best work. First, Naz is really good at containing the ball and forcing the ball handler into tough contested pull-ups, but second, Reid can also move his feet really well. On this play, you'll see Naz sitting and drop when defending this ball screen, And when the roller catches this pocket pass, watch how effortlessly he slides and gets himself back in front of the ball. And from here, Reid can just use that 7-foot reach to disrupt the shot. I love this play, where Naz is again defending in drop, and notice how he keeps his hands low to take away the pocket pass. And from here, the lob is also unavailable, because Rudy Gobert is hovering right underneath the basket, and this forces Murray into an awkward off-balance layup. Reid's length also makes him a pretty effective gap defender, being able to slide down and provide help, then scramble out and contest the shot. And plays like these won't make any highlight reels, but the effect it has on the court definitely shows up with Reid's defensive rating. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kid should break down next. The kid's here.